She had always been bullied as a filly. Everypony would say how she wouldn't amount to anything, that carrots were a stupid thing to have as a cutie mark. She showed them all how foolish they were. Within a year of leaving school, she became the leading producer of carrots for all of Equestria. Now, these bullies have turned to jealousy. They have destroyed her garden countless times, broke windows, greenhouses, stores, anything to do with her, they destroyed. Now, she has grown tired of these antics and is planning on ridding herself of these pains forever. Simply to die for. Written by Discordant Storm. Chapter 1. So it begins. It was finally the day where everything bad in the world would leave her alone forever. Carrot Top has always been a pony of ridicule. Ever since she was a filly, she had been bullied and tormented by her peers. She had no one to go to, and no one to help her, so she endured all the abuse from her parents, the bullies' constant beratement to be stuck with a dead-end job growing carrots for every pony in Equestria, and yet, even after all this pain, she can't even do her job in peace. Those fillies and colts from the past stayed around, continuing to berate her and hinder her business's progress. Inevitably, she snapped. Enough was enough. Her livelihood was at stake, and something had to be done. A plan begun to formulate over the years, and finally, it was time for it to be put into motion. The flyers were the talk of the town. Every pony knew about Carrot Top and her abuse, but never did anything to stop it. Hence why they were so surprised to see a meeting for everyone that hates the mayor being advertised so openly. Much to the surprise of many of the population, nearly every single one of Carrot Top's old classmates were found picking up the flyers and making their way to the Everfree Forest.
Whoa, the Everfree Forest!
Even her very own parents were making their way over. Carrot Top was giddy. Never had she been so excited to do something before. All her years of torment and agony finally being avenged. The final preparations were complete. The door was set to lock as soon as the targets were gathered inside. No windows. There was soundproofing all around, so not a sound could be heard. It was perfect. A knock echoed through the building, sending a shiver down her spine. The words, "It's time," echoed throughout the building in an eerily sing-song manner as she bounded off, setting up for her grand reveal. Chapter 2. Let the killing commence. Much to each other's surprise, the outside of the shack turned into a twisted high school reunion. Every pony was there. Colgate, Berry Punch, Amethyst Star, Lucky Clover, Time Turner, and her parents, who were known as Mr. and Mrs. Top. Colgate was the first to speak up.
So, you all still want her gone too?
Everyone nodded around her.
And you all saw the same flyer in town, so you came here?
Another round of nods. Every mare and stallion present more eager to get to the meeting than sitting around engaging in meaningless chit-chat.
So,
the strong voice belonging to Mr. Top bellowed.
Are we going in
Or are we going to sit here like a bunch of schoolfillies? This is my chance to plan my disgusting daughter's removal from this world, and I am not missing it for you lot. He bucked the door open and stormed in. A cry of surprise upon his entry.
What the hell?
All present crowded into the room to see a large carrot cake positioned in the center of the room with a banner saying, "Welcome to the Fuck Carrot Top Committee." Gasps echoed from all of them, followed by screams as the door slams shut. Amethyst is the first to react, running up to the door and using her magic to attempt to open it.
No, I can't open it.
She exclaimed in ill-disguised horror. Both Colgate and Mrs. Top take turns opening the door, but are met by the same result.
Oh no, it's been warded. We can't open it by any means.
Mrs. Top exclaimed.
We're trapped! Oh, we're trapped!
Screams echoed throughout the house before a distinct chuckle was heard from the cake.
I see you've all arrived. That's good. I didn't want any pony to be left out of my little fun house.
Upon that statement, Carrot Top burst forth from the cake, knife in hoof, and slashed her father's throat in one swift gesture. Screams once again filled the house as the ponies watched on in horror as Mr. Top stared at them wide-eyed, blood spurting from his neck before collapsing.
Alright, listen up.
Carrot Top cried from atop her father's corpse.
You've all been gathered here for the same reason. Every single one of you have harmed me, abused me, caused me to be near suicidal my entire life. Now, it's payback time. I know that my father was the strongest of you all, so I killed him immediately. The rest of you have 20 minutes to go hide. No magic, no breakout attempts. No one can hear you. Good luck.
At that, Carrot Top ran off and disappeared into the darkness, leaving panic and outrage in her wake. Miss Top was the first to stop screaming, making a break for the door in the far wall.
Fuck all you! I'm living through this shit!
She declared, before bucking the door open, only to be met by her own daughter, a demented grin plastered over her muzzle.
Sorry, Mother. You can't escape this way. Also, wasn't it you that taught me to never swear? Guess I'll have to make sure you remember that lesson.
At that, Carrot Top forced the blade of her knife between her mother's teeth and slowly applied pressure.
Let's cut that foul tongue out so you can't swear anymore. Eh, Mother?
Laughter followed as she managed to get the other mare's muzzle open and sawed away at her tongue. Gargled screaming filled the ears of every pony present as Miss Top's tongue was finally severed, the mare herself collapsing on the floor in a retching heap of blood and excrement. Carrot Top laughed sadistically as her mother slowly died at her hooves, the smell of bodily fluids stinging the eyes and nostrils of the others.
You have only 10 more minutes, my little ponies! Run away!
Carrot Top once again disappeared into who knows where, leaving her old classmates to huddle together and plan how they'll survive. Author's note: I'm running off the assumption that an average classroom in Equestria houses 9 children. Chapter 3: The Plan. Crying ensued as many of those still alive had a combined mental breakdown. Only time turners seemed to still be sane.
Listen up, Everypony,
he said confidently, having designed a plan that he was certain would prove fruitful.
We just need to stick together through this hell house. She's one mare. There's no way she can take on all of us if we stick together. All we need to do is wait for her to attack and neutralize her. Hopefully, once the owner is knocked out cold, the house's enchantments will cease and we can escape and get the crazy bitch arrested.
With that last note of confidence, he looked over to the sniveling band in front of him, meek nods meeting his gaze. Being the self-assigned leader of the group, Time Turner organized the group into a safe formation.
I'll be at the front and lead the way. Obviously. Clover!
He motions to the stallion in question, who shied away from the hoof.
You'll be at the back, keeping watch behind us. You are never to look where we are going, only where we came from. Got it?
A meek nod answered his question.
Good. Now, Barry and Colgate, you two cover our left and right. If she attacks, you buck or hit her with your magic. Understand?
The two look up at him, eyes red from crying, but both give confident nods. Finally, he turns to Amethyst, doe-eyed.
Babe, you're staying in the middle. If that psychotic fuck attacks, I want you to be as safe as possible.
He plants a kiss on her muzzle.
I love you, and I'll do everything in my power to save you.
After a mumbled,
I love you too,
and some more tears, Amethyst got up and every pony surrounded her as detailed by Time Turner's plan.
We have 2 more minutes, Everypony. Be on guard. We have no idea what she is capable of, especially not now.
With that, they embarked deeper into the house, weary of their surroundings and every dark hallway they walked down. Chapter 4. 1 down, 4 to go. Back in her command center, Carrot Top was laughing maniacally.
Pathetic ponies! You can't stop me that way!
Shaking her head, she pressed a button on her board and a claw shot down from the roof and picked up Amethyst from the middle of the group. Upon seeing the group's reaction, she cackled and pressed the activation button on her microphone.
Hello again, my little ponies,
she said ecstatically, enjoying the group's reactions.
As you can see,
the claw began to crush Amethyst.
Your little plan doesn't work. The entire house is under my control. There are things everywhere that I can use to kill all of you. I'll enjoy watching you lot suffer.
With one last cackle, the claw crushed Amethyst completely and dropped her to the ground with a wet thud.
Oh, I thought you were meant to protect her, Turner. Oh well, you failed. That's how's it feel to be put through pain, motherfucker?
With that, Carrot Top laughed maniacally again and turned off her mic.
Well, that was fun. Let's watch how this pans out. I do so enjoy this. Maybe that's why they always did it to me.
Time Turner instantly ran to Amethyst as she hit the floor, grabbing her in both hooves and sobbing.
No!
He screamed in anguish as he held her tight.
No, no, no.
He held her and wept silently. Everyone in the group huddled and mourned their loss for a few minutes before Turner got up.
Okay, Carrot Top, you are definitely going to die now. No one is safe once they murder my fucking mare friend, you psychotic bitch.
With that cry, he stormed away, dead set on hunting down Amethyst's killer and ending this nightmare. The rest of the group followed after, attempting to keep their formation around the avenging stallion.
Scheisenbergs!
Chapter 5: A Life Lesson. As the group trudged deeper into the Hell House, they all decided to take a break. Berry Punch pulled out a large flask of apple cider and started taking massive gulps from it.
Oh, cider, even in this shitty nightmare of a house, you're always here to calm my heart and make me happy.
At that, she started gulping it down, not pausing for a breath till it was empty.
Ah, at least I have more.
Whipping out another flask, she started drinking again while the group looked at her in disgust.
You okay, Barry? I know that we've witnessed 3 murders today and have to survive in a hell house of horror. But please, stop drinking. It's bad for you.
Clover begged, not wanting to see another pony in pain, even if they were inebriated.
Look, we should get moving. Last time we stayed still, that psycho killed Amethyst, and look how that turned out.
Clover motioned over to Turner, who had given up his leader role and taken to being the back, holding his deceased mare friend's corpse on his back in a morbid display of affection. Sighing, they started to move again, Berry Punch swaying around while singing some drunken rendition. The group froze as a cackle echoed off the walls.
Oh, I think it's adorable you're carrying her corpse, Tanner. They say chivalry is dead, but you are evidence it is very much alive. Oh, and Barry, I do so love how you're singing my song. Didn't know you were a fan. But unfortunately, Clover is right. Drinking is very bad for you. Too much of it can kill you, you know.
At those words, a box rose from the ground, encapsulating Berry Punch and making sure no one can get to her.
What's going on?
She was far past sober by now, fright causing all influence to leave her body.
Oh, why am I in a box?
A table rose up and she was forced onto it, metallic straps holding her down as pipes came out of the ground.
Now, don't be scared. I'm just using you to display the, well, let's just say terrors of too much alcohol consumption.
The pipes continued to rise and go to the allocated positions, one going so far up her ass it reached her stomach, and the other going deep down her throat. Muffled groans of pain came from Berry as she struggled in vain to break free as a liquid started filling the pipes.
Now, as you can see, there are pumps under the floorboards attached to the tanks full to the brim of apple cider. Just about, say, 80 liters of alcohol, way above the limit that any mammal can handle within their body at one time. Let's see what happens, shall we?
A loud hiss echoed as the pumps sped up to max and the cider started flowing in, Berry getting noticeably more inflated as it pumped, the mare herself unable to do anything except cry out in pain.
20, 30, 40, 50, oh my god!
At the utterance of the number 50, to signify 50 liters had been pumped into the poor mare, she exploded! Cider and organs splattered the walls of the box as the remaining 30 liters trickled onto the table.
Would you look at that? If you drink more than 50 liters, you explode. Well, that was a fun experiment. See you fillies again soon!
The sing-song tune echoed as the box and the other contraptions lowered to leave the very few remains of Berry Punch to sprawl on the floor. Clover was the first to respond, racing over and crying over her remains.
I loved you, Berry Punch. I loved you. I was too afraid to mention it. But now I realize it's too late. I wish I was able to spend some more time with you. I'm so sorry. Oh my god.
He cried over her, refusing to move until the final tear was wept.
Okay, let's go. We still need to hunt her down and kill her. For Amethyst, for Barry, and for Carrot Top of Vengeance. What? And for Carrot Top's parents. We need to avenge them.
With that, the other shaken ponies nodded and hobbled onward, even more scared than before. Dear God. Chapter 6. Disclaimer: toothpaste does not protect against dismemberment. As they trudged forward further inside the castle. As they trudged further inside the house, tensions were frayed. Turner and Clover were giving each other evil looks, while Colgate tried to cool them both down as best she could.
Guys, come on! If you continue to give each other the stink eye, we'll never find Carrot Top, never kill her, and we'll never escape!
Both stallions looked toward her, equally depressed.
What's the point, Colgate? My mare friend is dead. There's no reason,
Turner replied, ears flattened against his head. Clover nodded in confirmation.
There's no point. We've lost everything. Nothing is left to go back to.
Both stallions trudged onward before collapsing on the floor in a heap, landing on top of each other, causing a scuffle.
Get off of me, Lucky. Ironic how you have that name and yet your crush died.
Clover tackled him and they started to scuffle.
Fuck you, dude! You failed to even defend your mare friend!
The scuffle broke into blood as the two stallions fought. Colgate tried to break it up.
Guys! You need to stop this! We can't continue with this!
She attempted to grab Clover's hoof and got punched brutally. Oh, shit!
Why?
She began to cry as Clover switched and began pummeling her.
What the fuck? What? Why should you live? The other two are dead, so why shouldn't you be dead as well?
He continued to beat her until she was barely conscious.
Why would I ever donate you?
Clover didn't dignify that with a response and finished her off, leaving a shriveled husk behind. Turner sat there stupefied.
What the hell? Clover, the fuck is wrong with you?
A round of laughter was heard around the room as they looked around.
Well done, Clover. I was gonna offer using some toothpaste and a cheesy joke about dental care, but you saved me the trouble. Oh, thanks, sweetheart. Much more brutal than my plan. Only two left? Oh, time flies, doesn't it? You're so close as well. Only another few steps and you can avenge your poor Barry Bunting amethyst.
With a click, the microphone cut out and left the two stallions alone. Holy shit, this is kind of crazy. Chapter 7. Time flies when suffocating. After a few minutes of conversing, the two stallions came to a general understanding. Carrot Top must be stopped, no matter the method, no matter the sacrifice. This sadistic practice went on long enough. It was time to end it all. They trudged on in determined silence. No need for communication anymore.
Oh, I see you've made it. The door in front of you leads right to me. Unfortunately, both of you cannot enter. It's a personal philosophy of mine that no more than one stallion may be with one mare at any given time. So, this door doesn't open unless there are only one of you. Just remember, I can hear you!
Carrot Top declared happily.
Oh, and you have 1 minute. Decide now!
Once again, the stallions were left alone, grimly looking at each other.
So, who gets their revenge? Me or you?
The question hung in the air before a click sounded.
Oh dear, you're out of time. Sorry, Tanner, but it seems you need to go.
The mentioned stallion instantly freaked out, running away from the door, screaming for his life, and praying to every holy deity he knew, begging for it just to be a sick joke. The stallion didn't get far before glass descended over him. He began banging against the glass, but it was too late. It kept descending until his head was being crushed within the tight neck of it.
Do you like the design? It's an hourglass, just like your cutie mark. It's missing something, don't you think?
Sand slowly began to rise from the floor and fall from the roof.
There you go. It was missing the sand. Well, let's speed this up. I'm not waiting for my date with Clover.
An audible click was followed by more sadistic laughter as sand came pouring from the ceiling and pumped up from the ground. Within mere moments, the suffocating form of Turner was no more than a full hourglass. Shocked silence followed.
I'm still here, Clover. Don't keep me waiting.
Clover was left by himself for a while to contemplate what just happened to get him to this point. Chapter 8. Lucky Lucky. With a deep breath, Clover opened the door. Silence followed as the door creaked open and the stallion gawked in awe. An entire control panel was laid out, complete with cameras, buttons, and a standing microphone. In the center of it all was a distinct orange mare sitting in a chair, back towards him. Taking his chance, Clover slowly crept up to his torturer and made a lunge for her, only to be stopped when the chair spun around and the mare disappeared. His momentum carried him into the chair, and before the stallion could react, he was secured into the chair so he could not move a muscle. A slight clip-clop of hooves echoed throughout the command center as Carrot Top walked up to her final victim.
Hello, Clover. You should be honored. You get to be killed by me, personally. Lucky you. Seems your name is fitting after all.
Another laugh echoed throughout the room as she walked around to be muzzle to muzzle.
You do look oh so cute like that. You know, I've always loved you, Clover. Despite the abuse, you've always true my allure. So, I figure I'd sing you out in the most pleasant way I can.
Despite the stallion's struggles, he was held tight in the chair as his tormentor bent down and kissed his muzzle passionately, getting her tongue in and holding it for a while before pulling away. Oh shit.
I'm sorry, Clover, but you shouldn't have decided to fuck with me and choose an alcoholic over me. Goodbye.
With that, the poison reacted with Clover's blood and he died instantly.
Right then.
She clapped her hooves together happily.
Time to move on to phase 2.
Pressing the button left on her command center, she set about gathering all the remains of those she has killed.
I needed new fertilizer anyway.
Chapter 9. Epilogue.
Hey there, Carrot Top!
Pinkie Pie exclaimed.
Got another batch of carrot-related products for me today?
The mare just chuckled while unhinging herself from the wagon.
Of course I do, Pinkie Pie. I hope you enjoy them. I used this new fertilizer to grow them.
The tarp was pulled off to show a collection of carrot confectionery. The sight elicited gasps of joy from the pink pony.
Oh, gosh, Carrot Top! These look amazing. May I have a taste?
The yellow mare just chuckled again and handed her a carrot cupcake.
Here you go. I hope you like it.
A squeal of joy was followed by the excited eating of the given confection.
This is something to die for, Carrot!
The pink mare exclaimed.
I'll take the whole lot! How many bits do you want?
Carrot Top laughed to herself quietly at the indirect pun, finding the wording ironic.
Just the usual 300 bits, Pinky.
The transaction was made, damn, and Carrot Top walked back to her home.
How much do I have left of that fertilizer anyway?
Walking down to her basement, she opens up a refrigerator full of body parts of her victims.
Oh, we have enough for a long time.
Another cackle followed as she walked away, holding a wad of leaflets stating, "Come try Carrot Top's new delicacies. They're simply to die for." The end.